Yes, it's still the morning flight on Love World Expressions, where we entertain you beyond borders, and of course, where we also educate and also inform you. There is no doubt about it that insecurity is on a rising scale in Nigeria. But then, as it's rising also, we will also still continue to think about ways and manners about tackling the insecurity particularly, and of course taking a look at the way forward. It's a subject that we keep discussing within the media and even outside the media, within Nigeria and even outside the Nigerian polity. And a lawyer and public policy analyst, Libros Oshoma, has joined us to discuss insecurity, particularly in Nigeria. Libros, it's a pleasure to have you on our program. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, fine. Let's quickly set the ball rolling. I'm sure that you witness and you read reports every now and then about the rising state of insecurity in Nigeria. INEC offices have been bombed. Police formations have been attacked too. And particularly what also gives me some cause for worry is the eastern part of the country, where we've seen all of this playing out. Do all of these incidents give you a cause for worry and concern?
Yes, it does. Because these are places that were very peaceful, accommodative. Despite the misgivings and the cry here and there of civilization. But the moment you now see people taking laws into their hands and burning public institutions, then there is really cause for worry. And these are not times to begin to unnecessarily apportion blame, but for a sober reflection, while trying to also at the time investigate, bring the perpetrators to book, arrest those that can be arrested, interrogate them properly, to get to the roots, get to the source of their empowerment and enablement. But unfortunately, we are not doing it that way.
Okay, Libros.
Like you rightly said, the fact that we've seen a lot of people take law into their hands in the first place. Now, we realize that many of the factors that have caused insecurity could have been maybe previous events or crises or traumatic events that must have happened to people in different climes or in different parts of the state. Now that we've seen this, how do we fight this insecurity? What do we do to stem it? Because many a times we say it's the government's responsibility to do it. But as individuals, what can we do to fight insecurity, to curtail the rate at which this is going?
My sister, you can't wait government from this. If you rest the responsibility at the doorstep of the private individual, and we will miss the point completely. It is a collaborative effort between the government first, then the people. The government needs to win the confidence and trust of the people. And then the people can then volunteer information willingly, so well that they will be protected by the government. Let me give you an example. Governors, as we speak, what are they doing in terms of local security, local vigilante, to ensure that voluntarily submit information? And then, what is the government doing also to ensure that the trust of the people that have been lost completely is rekindled? Because you find situations where there have been, you see people, indigenous, clapping when these unknown gunmen are burning down public institutions. Why are those individuals and citizens of Nigeria happy that people are taking laws into their hands? Because they also have lost confidence in the government. So government needs to win back that confidence through dialogue, while at the same time, mind you, like I said earlier, investigate those that are perpetrating this act. Arrest the ones who can arrest. It is done in every situation. You shoot and kill everybody. There are sometimes you arrest to extract information. But when you kill, how do you now get information to get to the source of that crisis from such person? It is when you do these things that people will now believe that truly the government has risen and the government is protecting them. And then when they volunteer information to government, they also are sure that they are safe. But if there is no hope that the government can protect them more than the people that are arresting havoc, everybody will, will wait to die by coming. And gradually, even those that have the capacity that they are not carrying guns will decide to carry guns to protect themselves.
Okay, so the question I have for you, sir, is, are there things we can do to make the government more, would I say sensitive? Because at first, part of the anger was some of the, some people in the country are feeling sidelined when it comes to these insecurity issues, especially the Northeast. Yeah. We've been having a lot of insecurity there for a long time now, and it seems as if nothing is being done. More dust is raised now because we're in the Southeast, and whenever anything happens, we hear it in the media. Sometimes when things happen in the North, we don't hear it till 2-3 days after. You understand? So, or it's not as loud as it should be. You just hear that 200 children were kidnapped, or 50, large number of people are killed, and nothing is being done. So is there something that we can do to make the government more sensitive to these things? So it's not just one part that we're screaming about, when the other part of the country is ailing as well.
Let me bust your bubble. This government is sensitive. They have shown insensitivity over time. There's nothing anybody can do to change their approach to issues. They have a mindset. They have a premeditated mindset. For 6 years, they have used the same approach and the same pattern, and it keeps getting worse every day. And it's almost obvious that government has a hand in the insecurity that is brewing.
We can't say that.
I'm telling you, quote me.
We can't say that for
if
sure.
you look at the budget, let me give you something. If you look at the budget of security for the past 10 years, you'll find out that it's usually the highest, even much more than education. When we should be investigating in education, when we are moving to a knowledge-based economy. And then, at every turn, every service chief that leaves office, to hear there's investigation on huge amounts that were budgeted for arms that were never purchased and that were spent. In some cases, previously, we saw that some of these monies were buried in septic tanks in people's homes. So, you now want to ask yourself, if the government does not have a hand in insecurity, why will you vote money for arms and then bury the money, not even spend it on armed forces? Why is it that our soldiers keep complaining consistently that they are not getting enough support to fight the insecurity in the Northeast? And when you complain, remember the Major General Adebayo that complained, he was transferred to an obscure department where nobody will see or hear from him again. All of this part points to the fact that government enjoys this insecurity and is an avenue for a lot of people to make money. And so if they were not making money from it, they probably would have fought it poorly by now. Let me also give you the instances that had innovation that government has brought on board that even were in other societies, would have been used to quell insecurity. We started BDN registration so that we can track the source of the finances for terrorism and terrorist organizations. But how much of that have we even focused on? He took Dubai to jail people who are investing, who are financing terrorism. Nigerians who are financing terrorism in the Northeast. What did we do? We didn't do anything.
Chai.
Also quickly, we are doing NIN registration, National Identity Management Registration. What are the parameters for determining who is a Nigerian for the purpose of registration? Once you just come, you put that information, there is no way of verifying those information. The moment you are registered, you become a Nigerian. Contrary to the provisions of the Constitution that makes you a Nigerian. So when you put all of this together, it's as if the government is comfortable with this security. So to answer your question now, what should we do? For us to begin to prepare for 2023, if you don't have a voter card, when INEC opens that door for registration, let us all come out and register and participate in the electoral process so that you can vote out leaders who do not have a stake in Nigeria or who do not believe in the cause of the problem we are going through.
Very true.
Okay,
That's the only solution. Otherwise, if you are waiting for this government to stop insecurity, I think an ally will lie.
Okay, two things I want to perhaps ask you two questions. The very first one is the creeping of unknown gunmen into Nigeria's lexicon. Lately, if incidents happen, we're quickly to say unknown gunmen. What probably gave rise to this? But also, more importantly, non-state actors seem to be getting more mileage and leverage than even constituted authority. We've had instances...
Because non-state actors, state actors are involved with the non-state actors. Let's call it straight, my brother. You see, unknown government, when of the unfortunate incident of Ahmed Gulag happened in Owerri.
In Owerri, yes.
One would have expected that of the nine people that were killed, that at least 2 were arrested for interrogation. Police said it was a duel of gun battle between these actors and the police, and eventually they burnt some alive, killed the rest. And how do you now extract information to know who the unknown gunmen are? It means that we are truly not ready. We don't have tactics. So, these same people you have killed them, you know their names. Some have boasted that we are going to overrun Nigeria. Yes, you still tag them unknown. Nnamdi Kanu is in London, inciting people to go and fight, to go and take guns. What is the Nigerian government? What is the government of the southeastern state doing to push a counter narrative so that people who are disenchanted will not believe in this war path? Apart from individual efforts that people try to come up with narrative that war is not a path we should take. What is the government of the southeastern state? What is the federal government doing? Apart from police killing, people who they should arrest and interrogate, extract information, and then begin to arrest them one after the other. So that's where I fault the government. And then the rest of us, the stakeholders, politicians, what are they doing? We are talking about constitutional amendments now. People are talking about petition. What are the politicians doing to ensure that these injustices that people have been complaining about are corrected using constitutional amendments. Apart from, should we go back to 1963 Constitution? Should we amend? Should we draft a new one? What is the narrative? What engagement in terms of diplomacy are the politicians doing to ensure that, there's a counter narrative that, look, it is not as bad as you people see. That this same thing that you complain about, we have suffered it before, and if we continue like this, it's spell doom for our region. What are they doing? Nothing.
Okay, Libros, the service chiefs, they are over 100 days in office. I'm aware that about a month or 3 weeks thereabout, they celebrated like 100 days in office. The new service chiefs that we have, sadly, one passed away. But have we been able to see the impact of the new service chiefs? Because Nigerians complained bitterly that we had service chiefs for perhaps like over 4 years in office, which had never really been the case in Nigeria. Now that we have new service chiefs, have we started seeing their impact?
Look, insecurity is hard, and you can only solve it using local effort. So even if you like, change service chief 100 times. If you don't adopt a local mechanism for curbing it.
So you are for state police?
You say what?
Are you for state policing?
Yes, I am.